Hello everybody and welcome to whatever this is. I'm Axen Cleaver, the Urban Viking, and with me as always,
Daniken Skyfaulker, the Jedi Dropout.
Today's libation, our tribute to the dude, the Big Lebowski. Both drinking White Russians today. Absolute.
So good. So good.
The key is the coffee flavored vodka.
Oh yeah.
That'll do it every time. I'm smoking a Vega Fino cigar. This time it's a good middle of the road quality smoke every time.
It smells real good. It smells real good. Okay, so
Something's coming out that's got you all excited.
there's a couple of things coming out that's got me excited. Excited. We'll leave that in.
We'll leave that up to interpretation.
Yeah. Well, last time we got a little serious. The weather was gloomy. I guess we were in a gloomy mood. But the sun is out. The birds are singing. It's no longer raining. So, that being
The
said,
sky is blue. All the trees are green.
my heart is warm like a baked potato.
It's a spadoinkle day.
Yes, it is. I love that movie. I really do. I haven't seen it in forever, but it's great. But yeah, there's a few things to talk about this time. Last time we left off, I had just got my lightsaber from Saber Forge.
The thing looks seriously badass.
It really does. It really does. Like I said, I had mostly good stuff to say about it. My only criticism is,
Tell them what you got and go over it. And
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so like I said, I ordered Saber Forge. I ordered the Guardian, which is inspired by the lightsaber that Qui-Gon had in Episode 1. And Saber Forge does not do one-to-one replicas. They are not 100% screen accurate. They're obvious interpretations, but they're built to be really solid, dual-worthy sabers. I mean, yeah, it's a hobby, it's a collectible, but you can get out and you can beat the hell out of that thing and it's going to hold up. Which
you can find videos all over the internet of people whacking trees and smacking down small limbs, things like that, and the saber's virtually undamaged.
Yeah.
So, if you've got a home invader situation and you just can't get the combination right for your Smith & Wesson, or you can't find that Bowie knife, you can always grab a lightsaber and beat the snot out of the intruder.
It will most definitely catch them by surprise.
They won't see it coming. They will not. Well, they will. It's a lightsaber, but they won't expect it.
I love it. First of all, I wasn't sure if it was going to be super thin or super bulky. The pictures, it looked really close to the movie prop, which the movie prop is, it's a good size. It's a lightsaber. When you got your saber, it was a good design. It was very simplistic. I think you said it best last time. You said it was very utilitarian.
Right.
It's nothing more, nothing less than what it is supposed to be. It is a instrument of death.
Exactly. That's why I enjoy it. I'm very utilitarian about a lot of things that I have. Help even this podcast set up. It's utilitarian. It's what is needed, nothing that is not. Now, I like that about it. By the way, if you don't remember from a previous podcast, I have the Acolyte from Saber Forge.
Yeah, which is their interpretation of the old Sith Empire when there were multiple Sith running around, not just the rule of two. They had acolytes, and the acolytes, they were basically, this is a standard issue lightsaber, here you go. They didn't craft it themselves like the Jedi, so it's a soldier's weapon, and it looks like it. That's the cool thing about it. It's a good grip, it's comfortable to hold, but it was really thin. And I was surprised when you got it and I picked it up. I was like, it's so thin. So I didn't know what to expect. I went with the Qui-Gon style because you could say a million things about the prequels, both good and bad, mostly bad. But I really like that lightsaber design because it's simple yet elegant, and it's very much what I think a lightsaber should be. It is beautiful at the same time. I got it in a weathered finish because I just felt like, this is Qui-Gon saber and it's as old as it is. It would be beat the Helen back if it survived.
It has seen some things.
Yeah, if it survived everything and somebody found it, like in Luke's new Jedi Order or something like that, it'd be old. So I got it in a weathered finish, which I really liked. It looks worn, but it's been very taken care of very well. So I really like that about it.
Like an old Chevy. If you see an old Chevy on the road nowadays, you know it's old, but it had a good owner.
Yeah.
It's like an old Chevy truck. It's an old work truck. But it's been very well maintained and cared for.
Yeah, exactly. So that part I was really happy about. I got the 12 watt plus LED in green, and holy crap is that thing bright. If you don't have the blade in or the blade plug, it will blind you. It's serious. Even with the blade in, I was playing around with it one night. I couldn't find a flashlight, and it kind of disoriented me a little bit having this bright blade right in front of my face. So that's a good thing about it. My only criticism is it's been so long since I ordered it that I'm fairly sure that when I ordered it with Quick Connect LEDs. That's where you can just very quickly detach the LEDs from the wires to plug new ones up to the power source to give you different colors and different effects and things like that. I thought that I had selected that in my order. I might not have. I might just be imagining that. And it's been so long, I'm not going to go through my email that far back to see if I can find it. So I'm just going to make do with that for now. But with their new ASP system, if I go to build another saber, it breaks apart in 2 and 3 pieces instead of just, the pommel coming off. So it'll be a lot easier to do that. So if I build another one, when I build another one, that's what I'll do. But I'm really happy with it. It's got a real good weight. It's very comfortable to hold. The machine work on it is great. There's no sharp edges. There's no burrs. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, none of our complaints or anything about Saberforge has ever been about the quality of the product. The quality of the product for what you're paying has always been top notch for us. This is the 3rd saber by them that we've seen, and we have yet to find a fault with the actual build of the product.
Yeah.
All of our complaints have mainly been with the customer service aspect, which it's like 10 or 12 guys in a garage making these things essentially.
It might not even be that many. And as far as customer service goes, the one interaction that I had with them where they emailed me back, I have no complaints. They were great. It's really the wait time. That's with anything though. I don't want to wait that long if I don't have to. And I don't know what happened with mine the first time. Like I said, I'm chalking that up to a fluke. I will absolutely order from them again.
Oh yeah, none of these cons or anything that we're nothing's deal breaking. It's just little irritations.
Yeah, they're observations.
Mm-hmm.
They're objective criticisms. As that brand grows, as that company grows, hopefully that'll get better with time. But like I said, it's from what we can tell, from what little I know, it's 10 or 12 guys in a garage or in a machine shop somewhere turning these things out. And, it's a wait, but it's worth the wait.
Absolutely. On that same line, there is something coming up that's very, very near and dear to your heart. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I am looking forward to it.
Rogue One. The more I see about this movie, the more excited I get about it. I was elated with The Force Awakens. I know there were some people that criticized it, saying that it followed the beats of the original Star Wars A New Hope a little too much. To those people, I say, make up your mind. When the prequels came out, you didn't like them. They're too different, they're too this, they're too that. And then you're like, I want them to follow more like the original trilogy. It needs to be new but familiar. That's what I want. Well, that's what The Force Awakens was, and you still complain. So if you're one of those people, stop it. Count your blessings. We got a new Star Wars movie, and it was good.
Yeah, we got a good Star Wars movie, the first one since Return of the Jedi, so yeah. I'm happy.
The thing that is really intriguing about this is it's a Star Wars movie, but it's not focused on the Jedi. It's this small group of people that, from the looks of things, from what little bit of I've gathered, they're a ragtag group of misfits, almost like the Guardians of the Galaxy in a way, and they're like hey, we need you to do this, for all intents and purposes, suicide mission. And, you know, we sort of know what happens, but I want to know the beats of that story, what the details of what really happened and what's going to take place in that movie. Like I said, the more I see about it, the more excited I get.
30-plus-year-old spoiler alert. If you don't know how it ends, you need to watch episode 4 again.
One of the things that got me super excited about it is, like I've said it in a previous episode, I am a fan of classic movies, and I love seeing older actors reprise roles, and even if it's just to make a cameo. And James Earl Jones is coming back to do the voice of Vader in this movie. I don't know how much Vader's going to be in this movie, but I know he's going to be in it, and he's coming back to do the voice. Thrilled by that. The guy that they use in some of the video games, and he did the Chad Vader on YouTube way back when.
By the way, that was a great series. If you missed it, I'm sorry, but it was a great series.
It was hilarious.
It was awesome.
He's got a great Vader voice. He really does. I think he actually might have done the voice for the Force Unleashed video games, and it was great. But you can't beat the original voice, James Earl Jones. It's an iconic voice. He
set the standard. He set what that voice actually was and what it meant. And growing up, you know, I like the Star Wars movies. They were really cool, and I like the Conan movies. And James Earl Jones is Thulsa Doom in the original one. It's just a great movie.
He's a great bad guy in that movie.
He is awesome.
He's just cold.
Well, he's a snake god or a snake priest.
He should be. He's just cold, but love James Earl Jones. So really excited about that. Going into something else I'm pretty excited about. I was never a big fan of Doctor Strange when I was younger. I became a fan of Doctor Strange within the last three, maybe 4 years since I've become a fan of his. So I was of course, excited to hear about the movie, and I've gone back, and I haven't been able to get any hard copies of some of the older Doctor Strange comics, but I have gone back and looked at some of the stories and looked at stuff online. And that trailer, if you haven't seen it yet, is awesome. There's a scene, and if you're a comic aficionado, you'll know it when you see it. It looks like they ripped it right out of a Jack Kirby comic, and I just lit up when I saw that. So
I never really got into Doctor Strange until the animated movie came out. When it came out on Netflix, I was like, I got nothing else to watch. I've already seen this. I've already seen that. Oh, Doctor Strange. I've heard a little bit about him. Clicked it out of curiosity, and holy crap, it was awesome.
There's some really deep themes in Doctor Strange. I mean, it's very philosophical. It questions what is real.
I mean, it's actually rooted in a lot of Buddhist philosophies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just mind-blowing. They tackle these complex philosophies, but they do so instead of sitting there and just listening to somebody drone on and off. They do it in this fantastical, animated. It was an animated movie, but animated as in there's a lot of stuff going on. Things are happening. It's a good time. It's a good time.
One of the things that I like about the Doctor Strange comics is that character has a unique look, and his look has stayed pretty consistent. But the comics themselves, the artwork has changed a lot over the years. But it's always got this really great esoteric look to it. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's just great about Doctor Strange is he's exists in a world almost outside himself, which you get a good writer that knows how to use that element, and man, there's some great stories. Great stories.
I have to say I have not actually read any Doctor Strange comics, and with this movie coming out and the animated movie fresh in my mind from just a few weeks ago, you know what he reminds me of? The old radio show The Shadow, because he's sort of grounded in that the Shadow, his big thing was the ability to cloud men's minds through this Buddhist meditation cycle.
Who knows? The Shadow knows.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I actually grew up listening to that. My grandfather had recordings of it. Actually, I think I have a cassette tape of it somewhere in this room. There's a couple episodes of the old Shadow radio show. My grandfather and I would listen to those. It was so good.
I never listened to the radio show, never really got the opportunity, but my dad was a fan of it, and I remember seeing I think it's Alec Baldwin did the movie.
Yes!
I saw that. Didn't quite live up to my expectations, but I did see it.
It was so bad.
It's not great. But it is a movie that is worth a watch. It's not great, but watch it anyway, because you'll get a kick out of it.
It is definitely worth your time. Yes, go in understanding it's not a great movie, but it's a Thursday night movie.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a Thursday night movie. Friday night you want to see the really cool stuff, but this is a Thursday night movie. You got nothing better to do really. Break this out. It'll still be a great night.
No real caveat into this, but something I wanted to talk about for about a week or so.
And every time I turn on Netflix to watch it, I just forget.
Yeah. Hell on Wheels. I am a big fan of Westerns. One of the reasons I like the Star Wars movies so much is they have a lot of Western themes, especially in the original trilogy.
Oh, Han Solo is a cowboy.
He's a space cowboy.
Space cowboy. By the way, Cowboy Bebop, great anime. Just throwing that in there.
Yes, it is. Trigun, another great one.
There you go. There's a reason both of those series grace my shelves.
Oh yeah, there's a reason that we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Hell on Wheels, no exaggeration at all. One of the best westerns, not series, not movie. One of the best westerns I've ever seen, heard, watched. Pick a verb. I loved it, and this last season was absolutely incredible. The writing on that show is just amazing, and I was wholeheartedly vested in Colin Bohannon. I wanted a happy ending for him so much, and I'm not saying that he doesn't get one. I'm not saying that he does. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody that hasn't seen it. Go watch that show. It is so good. There are moments in that show that will tear your heart into pieces. There are moments in that show that will piss you off. There are moments in that show where you will be like a little kid in like the 40s or 50s when Westerns were at their peak, sitting at the edge of your seat, biting your nails, like wondering what's going to happen. I love that show. I think a big reason that show is so near and dear to my heart is I grew up watching Westerns with my dad. That's why I love the genre. That's why when I learned to love the genre. And that captured every element, every beat of what makes me love a Western. It was just so good.
He reminds me of John Marston. I've seen the first 4 or 5 episodes of it. He reminds me of John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, the video game. He really does. He's got that unshakable sense of honor, unshakable values and virtue that is personal to him. It may not exactly conform with everything around him, but it's personal to him, and that's the code that he follows, regardless, actually, of whether it meshes with the world around him.
For that same reason, I love the character Deadpool, and I love the Deadpool comics. He is morally flexible, but he has his sense of what is right in that moment. Sometimes it's, how am I going to get to a chimichanga faster? How am I going to get my money? Other times it's, this is the right thing to do. Same thing with Conan the Barbarian. He is morally flexible, but he has a code that he follows that is very personal to him. And absolutely, Colin Bohannon, the main character in that show, he is a man that in a lot of ways is ashamed of his past, but at the same time, he's on a mission. Sometimes it's unclear what that mission is, I think even to him. But he's on a path, and he's following that path, regardless of what anybody thinks. And those are the type of characters I really like. I like the characters that overcome the obstacles that are in front of them, but I also like those characters that, the hell with you, I'm doing this because this is what needs to be done. So
it really does remind me a lot of Red Dead Redemption, if you haven't played that game or seen a Let's Play of it. And I have played the holy bejesus out of that game. Wasn't as big a fan of the Undead DLC, but...
It was fun, but...
Played through it once, it was like, eh.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the same heart.
No, the core game is what has the story and the heart in it, so it's just fun.
We got a little bit of news.
We have a little bit of news.
Okay. There was recently a shipment of Viagra stolen. Just want to get that out there. Yep.
I didn't hear about this.
Yes. Police are on the lookout for hardened criminals.
As we said at the start of this video, last week it was a little bit of a cloudy, kind of sullen week, so we want a little levity with this.
We've got a few of our favorite jokes set up here. These are stupid jokes. They're dumb jokes, but they make us giggle. They're meant for nothing more than a cheap laugh, essentially.
Yeah. I love really corny jokes. I don't know what it is, but I really love corny jokes. What did the fish say when it hit the wall?
What's that?
Damn. Two fish sitting in a tank. One fish looks at the other fish and says, "Hey buddy, you know how to drive this thing?"
Because they're in a tank. I've heard a similar one to that. It's two fish in a tank. One looks at the other again and says, "You man the gun, I'll drive."
Yeah, same
concept.
Same concept. Three-legged dog walks into a bar. I'm looking for the guy that shot my paw.
Two men walk into a bar. Third one ducks.
Mushroom walks in the bar, sits down. Bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." He says, "Why not? I'm a fun guy."
Man walks into a bar, sits down. Bartender says, "You want to see something cool?" He says, "Yeah." So he pulls out this little tiny piano. Pulls out a man who's only 10 inches tall, and the man sits at the piano, plays beautifully, makes a little bow, and then walks off stage or walks off the bar, back into his little cupboard. And the guy's like, "Wow, that's really cool." The bartender says, "Yeah, there's a sink in the men's bathroom. If you whisper a wish to it, it'll grant it." So the guy goes and says, "I wish for $1 million." And then 1 million ducks just pour out of this faucet and flow. And the guy comes running out, and the ducks are everywhere. And they finally, after they all get cleared up, he looks at the bartender and he says, "You told me that it would grant my wish. I asked for $1 million. It gave me 1 million ducks." Bartender looks at him and says, "You really think I wished for a 10-inch pianist?"
That's not bad. That is not bad. Oh, jeez.
I got one more for you.
Alright.
Blind man sitting on a dog peed on his shoe. Blind man said, "Come here, Rover. I've got a piece of beef for you." The wife says, "You can't just let him do that. You can't let that pass." The blind man says, "I gotta find his mouth so I can kick him in the ass."
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm Axen. I'll be here all week.
Yeah, okay. Two peanuts walking down the street. One was assaulted.
Throwback to Pulp Fiction. Mama tomato, Papa tomato, baby tomato walking down the sidewalk. Baby tomato falls behind, so the Papa tomato goes back, steps on him, and goes, "Catch up."
Alright. My favorite, corny joke of all time. Two muffins sitting in the oven baking. One muffin looks at the other muffin and says, "Damn, man, it's hot here." The other muffin says, "Holy shit, a talking muffin."
Did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now.
I'm going to go old school. Knock, knock.
Who's it?
Smell mop.
Smell my poo.
Yeah.
I gotcha. We just figured we goof around a little bit on this one. The last time was so serious, but as always, you got anything else? Give us a good send off. Give us a good one on the way out.
All right. For anybody out there that's old enough to remember, there used to be this little thing on Saturday Night Live, and it was only like a couple of seconds. They do it maybe once or twice an episode. This is back in the early 90s. It was Jack Handy, Deep Thoughts. And I always loved them. And I used to try and come up with my own and write a handful down. But this is one of my favorite ones, and I don't really know why I love it so much, but I do. It says, if you ever crawl inside of an old hollow log and go to sleep, and while you're in there, some guys come, and they seal up both ends, and then put you on a truck, and take it to another city, man, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know why, but that's hilarious.
I don't know why either. And there's a million of them, and I love them. They crack me up.
Like we say, everybody, life's too short. You gotta laugh.
If God dwells inside us, like some people say, I sure hope he likes enchiladas, because that's what he's getting. All right, guys. Short and sweet, a little bit more lighthearted this time. We'll have some different things to talk about within the next episode, I'm sure, like we always say.
Like, comment, subscribe. Absolutely, leave a comment down below, and we'll, if you leave a comment about a topic to discuss, we'll try to get to that as best we can, depending on the topic, of course. And then everybody try to be good. If you can't be good, be safe. If you can't be safe, don't get caught.
We'll see you next time.